And we are back. Ancient is upon us as we are ready for our second map in a series, Team Spirit. After having a commanding victory on the first map of Mirage, look to close the series here. Can Mouz recover on the T side as they mount a play towards A to kick this one off?
They'll sure be hoping so. We know how quickly that last map got out of control. Donk in supreme confident mode, and it's Shiro that's going to kick things off here though with those Julies. Magic's in the meanwhile wasn't really required much, was bottom of the scoreboard for Spirit with a 1.17 rating, so he'll be looking to try and pick up some of those kills early on the pistol, but does miss out, and the trades going in favor pretty heftily now for Mouz. Suddenly Chopper and Shiro are last two men standing. Chopper has been absolutely brutalized down to 7 HP. If they're not careful, they may end up getting some team kills, but it's the T side that shuts themselves down in the back of the head. And now Jim Fat, who's already equalized his grand total of kills on Mirage, has to try and come out and get another one. The timing works out, and the Finn bests Shiro for Mouz on the board first.
Okay, that's nice. That's a lot better. That's what we wanted to see, Vince. And especially for Jim Fat as well. I think, you hit the nail on the head right there. He had one frag over the course of the entire previous game. That's got to deal some damage to your confidence. Even if you're a big man, even if you're sat there saying, "No, don't bother me," it definitely does. But he looked crisp. That looked a lot better. The way he played it there, some snapshots, smooth movement as well. Mouz picking up an opening round, it will relieve so much pressure from your chests. But the game isn't won off the back of one round. That's a small start. They need to keep it consistent. And they're being kept honest, Vince. The nades were already such a decisive blow, dealing so much damage to Mouz. But look at the first two frags. Two opening picks, claimed by Spirit on the Deagles. They can play passive now, Vince. They can just play angles and trade for each other. You've left 3 Mouz players left, and 2 of them are limping with broken legs.
Which puts them even more into range of these 5-7s and the Scout and the Deegs. Any shot will do at this point. It's only Toshi that is healthy. And there's so many angles they have to watch out for. Plus, losing 2 players so early on means utility has been spilled on the deck. Only 1 smoke and 1 HE to try and craft a path back into this round. And considering we were just talking about the confidence, the psychological elements of getting batted 13-2 just a few minutes prior, winning the pistol and then instantly getting force-bought into defeat against Deagles and 5-7s is going to ruin you in so many different facets. But the CTs get overzealous, they get itchy, they go looking for peaks, they get punished. Now back into a 3-on-3. Yes, the health bars are low on 2 players, but with 30 seconds, they've got to smoke down in the right position. They can try and force a plant down here. Mouz could retreat this round yet. They could still win.
20 seconds left as the bomb starts to get planted. Nice nade, Jim Fat. On the money with that one, a bullseye delivery. Shiro trying to stay alive, but he's being flanked from the side. Smil tag, but it's not enough. They were so low on HP, but the one player that he lights up with his scout had more than enough to withstand the bullet. Mouz weather the storm and pick up the second round. That was terrifying though. That's a rough one to potentially have pulled out from underneath you. Would have sent this game instantly back into a scramble for control. Instead, Mouz maintain it. They have weaponry to work with, and Spirit will be again on the back foot. Just pistols once more. Only utility they've got is a single flash and a HE. Zontix, he'll have that bit of utility on his person. He's down over towards the B site. Very heavy grouping. 3 players there. Outside of that, it's all on Chopper to hold middle.
Oh, he's got one. That is more than he would have been anticipating for. They go and just don't check the angle, which is a bit surprising considering they had a smoke up on red and players already watching donut. So a little bit of a mistake. I don't think it's going to end up costing them too dearly, considering that Spirit have got a few pistols, but nothing too significant. No Kevlars behind it. Shui now is going to get caught. That back 10's going to trade has. Well, how does Shiro get 2 from there? P250 work is sublime. Pivots in for a second kill. Deagle shot connects, but it won't be enough to secure the round. But Mouz are getting these done, but it's so scrappy, Jacky. They're constantly taking casualties, constantly taking unnecessary risks and gambles, but take nothing away from Shiro. That P250 double was huge.
Yeah, this is already shaping up to be an absolute barn burner, Vince, if I'm honest. With the way both teams are playing right now, how Team Spirit are getting the job done with absolutely the wrong tools. It's like you've ordered a plumber, but he's turned up and all he's got is a shovel. How's he going to fix the issue? How are you going to fix my leak? Well, apparently quite efficiently with a shovel. As that's what they're doing. They're just ripping heads off with pistols. Now they've actually got the right tool for the job. Here we go. Man's pulling up to the party towards Cave, looking to strike, but it's two opening frags simultaneously. Shiro with one puts the barrel down on the scope and removes a single player. Zershan also falls. And Magix, he's just playing on the off angle, proffering them in towards the bomb site. Flashbangs by Shiro. The timing is on point, Vince, and they're bullying them.
Oh, that is such a beautiful hold from Spirit. A flash into a triple peak crossfire. And yes, Mouz do blend, it turns out. Plus, losing so many players in these previous 2 rounds, like 3 or 4 in the last round, a similar situation in the previous one, means they lose 1 time on the T side after 3 consecutive wins, they're into an eco half-buy situation. That goes to show how scrappy these previous 2 rounds have been, and it allows Spirit to carve a path straight back into this game, get themselves a really solid economy behind it as well. However, they can't take their eyes off this, but look at just all the utility getting tossed out early doors to make sure that Mouz can't breathe.
Oh, mate. The only thing they might be able to do is sigh, because that round went by in a matter of seconds. You would be deflated. Spirit with 2. But let's look at the facts. Even the first 3 rounds were dangerously close. Mouz were effectively walking the tightrope of losing these just against USPs, Deagles, your low economy weapons. Now into the 6th. Will this be equalized? Will this already be level pegging between these 2 Goliaths of the game? As Team Spirit, they're looking really hot. Shiro's feet really showing that off, as he's got a couple of flames on his boots. Goes running out towards middle early on. Utility dashed across. Big rotation already pulled though. Mouz are wrapping back round towards the B bomb site and setting themselves up for a late take on this. Problem is, Spirit have got quite a bit of control towards lane. You've also got 2 players in close succession towards middle. So if they want to, they could push down mid here and clap that through lane instantly. But the B bomb site bombardment works well, Vince. They've gone quick on this one. Brolin's already deep in CT. Okay, there could be room for him.
Yeah, that could catch them off guard, honestly, at this point. They may not anticipate that Brolin's been that aggressive. Chopper and Magix keeping themselves alive in Cave, though, is going to be a consistent thing that's just going to reverberate around the back of Mouz's minds. They're not sure what to expect. Important trade goes the way of Brolan. Chopper out, next to be felled by Jimfat's Galil. 2 kills in quick succession for him. And it looks like Mouz are going to stop the rot for the last 2 rounds. They're going to get this done. And potentially pretty cleanly at that. 1 casualty, not too serious. Zontic's though going to put a Molotov down and force them into an awkward spot if they want to try and charge him down. They're taking a lot of damage from this molly. And Zontix probably feels like he should have done better. He could have had a hatful of kills in that confrontation, but kind of whiffed at the end. Mouz, regardless, though, will pick up a 4th.
Boy, oh boy. Okay, Mouz. Nice round. Good change of pace as well. Nice momentum. Getting themselves back into the game by just bombarding their way into the B-bomb site early. Caught them off guard by the timing. It was a nice setup from Spirit, but they were expecting to flank late down lane. They just weren't speedy enough. Okay, Donk's on a move. This time, he's going for the aggressive play towards middle. Hot feet though, Vince steps in the flames, the singeing sound giving the game away, but Magix, he slices back. That is a magic trick. He's made them all disappear as everyone's being split in half.
That trade, the transfer was so sublime, man.
Oh no, Donk's
team kill.
so full of bloodlust, Vince.
I don't care if you're an enemy or an ally, I want blood. I want headshots. And that has put this into a bit of an awkward spot as well. You know, jokes aside, if Torshi can get another kill out of this round, it's going to put a lot of pressure on Spirit's economy. Hemorrhaging a few deaths in a round where they just started so well. That Magic's transfer, spraying down for the second player on Catwalk was a thing of beauty. But Torshi is not to be underestimated. This guy, sure, he's a primary AWPer. He can get it done with the AK. The bomb may not be under his control, but he can still try and rummage a path towards some more carnage and some more mayhem. And that can have implications longer haul for Spirit if they're not careful. Magic's now going back up ramp. was checking his backside, just making sure that double doors wasn't where Torji was laid in wait. But now he can pick that bomb up and prowl over wherever he should choose. I thought for a moment he may head over to the A main side, but it's going to be through Donut instead. They're at range here as well, though, Jacky, but it is Chopper. He's had a very good game so far, but he's not typically the guy you expect to land an insta headshot. So maybe Torji can brute force his way in for a post plant.
It depends on the audio cues as well, right? He's dropped that Molotov over towards Temple. CT's being smart about this one, probably want to play it as a wolf pack. Instead, it's just a raw peek from Torji that goes against him. He goes for the face on CT, pre-scoped in. Shiro, he was ready to rumble and rocks him out of the server. So they will close the gap on that one. No upset potential in a 1 versus 3, and Team Spirit lock it down. Now, Vince, I had a bit of a look at some of the stats that we've been seeing for Donk, right? And after we've had a bit of a donker of around there, I wanted to bring this to attention. In all of the games he's played in the closed qualifiers, each game has been better than the last. He's gone higher and higher in his overall power level from each one. He had a 1.24 rating in his opening game versus Koi, then a 1.29 rating versus Entropic. That went up to a 1.99 rating versus Preezy. And of course, we all know what he did back on Mirage versus Mouz in the first map, sporting a 23 to 6 KD at a 2.35 rating. Every game, he seems to be getting more comfortable in the closed qualifier. So if he's coming alive now, this early into the first half, Vince, we'll see what he can do the longer this one goes on.
That's an awesome stat. And it's really impressive and shows that his confidence has been oozing. I mean, we saw that, just the confidence surging through his veins on Mirage. It's been a bit of a slower start in parts, but we have seen him explode in the last couple of rounds. And we know that this guy, if you give him an inch, he's going to snatch everything. He's going to run away with the game by himself. However, Mouz have been putting that pressure down on Spirit collectively, have not let them flourish as much as they'd like. But these are the kind of rounds where you're expecting to see some special things happen. With an AK in his hand, Jimfat just with the deagle. It's going to be a fast hit, though, and no one's home. No one's there to lock the door, barricade the site. It's going to be a free take.
They've slipped their way onto the bomb site in seconds, and they've got utility to block off any of the angles for the CTs. Oh, mate, this is looking a little bit awkward. They pick up the nades that they left in spawn to reset and figure out how they want to mount this retake. You've got time. Bomb's only just gone down, so no need to panic just yet. Late flank from Exertion, though. He's good. He's a really strong closer in rounds like this. So if he can maintain this composure for a late flank, Vince could be the difference maker. Jimfat falls on first contact, though. This is where Xertion needs to come into play. Has to get into the back of Donut and strike in the nick of time. Meanwhile, Brolin defends the front entrance. One by one, they're picking up kills. And now it goes down to this. The main man, Xertion, strikes on the first. He gets the damage off, Vince. It's going to be so close, but he's jumped on the bomb. He's got the kit in the back pocket. He's pulled out the diffuser, and he gets it. Shiro walking away at the last second for a 4th round. That is despicable.
Oh, it felt like Exertion had it in the palm of his hand, but he played it so slow. He had full confidence in his teammates, and it nearly worked out. The spray onto Shiro was just off. I think he goes back and looks at that, and he face palms. You expect him to get that clutch down. You expect him to nail Shiro for that second frag, but instead, 4-4, Mouz have been reset. They've been broken back once again. And although Spirit lost 4 players, still pretty comfortable in this rebuy. So Mouz's curse on these T sides continues. Yes, they've got 4, but a lot of that comes off the back of the pistol and just being oppressive. Chopper in the meanwhile getting down behind the smoke on double door, taking full control over Catwalk, but he knows once that smoke clears, especially on the mid side, he's going to have to fend back into a cave. Otherwise, he may get snatched from the back. He's going to replenish that smoke, actually. So Mouz feeling very choked out and claustrophobic at this stage, and with just Tech 9s, Deagles, and P250s, they're hoping that the CTs get over-aggressive here and go for a peek. We have seen that in a couple of previous rounds, though. So maybe Mouz are going to get a pick here and try and work off that. But you'd think that Spirit have learnt their lesson.
Around 50 seconds left on the clock here. Push out mid, Jimfat, test the waters, dipping in his toes. Oh, they're peeking into him one by one though. They've given Donk the freebies. And man, it feels like this guy has some sort of like protagonist buff. It's like he's in his own movie, Vince, and he's just the star of the show. Anytime anyone peeks onto him, he's just able to make tricks, move his way around the bullets and abuse them. It's crazy. Torchi's the only one that's left now. All on him. Oh, okay. Crazy spam. But a bullet connects the head and Shiro goes down. So one fadeaway frag at the end of the round. But more importantly, the round itself is picked up. Spirit, they've got the lead again on their CT side.
I think Donk, for me, kind of epitomizes the idea of, like, with a new game coming out in the form of CS2, some players are going to adapt to that far faster than others. And the way that Donk is so aggressive that he's just pinging around the map on the T or CT side, I think that really plays into his hand because he's so good at getting those entries. He's so good at taking fights to players. And the fact he's got God tier aim is what's going to be a pretty big factor.
It's so sick, man. Honestly, I really enjoy that. I think it's a nice change of pace. It's crazy as well, Ravens, because you think about it, like back in the day, how many years it would have taken for players or teams to adapt in terms of buying outside of their comfort zone as even one thing, to pick up SMGs, to pick up those sort of weapons. But even just pushing, even just running down without your IGL saying, what are you doing? Are you just throwing the game? It's crazy how quickly we've seen players like this. Okay, a main push for Zontix takes down Exertion, where they're just able to play so confidently from the get-go, and it's sick. It really is cool. It's brought a bit of a different dynamic to Counter-Strike. You know, normally a game where you think slow, tactile gameplay, now you can throw in those crazy confidence plays, and they're fun to watch. It's interesting. CS2's got a lot of dynamics to it.
It really does. And Shiro's going to get aggressive. One of those weapons that people are arguing back and forth is a little bit weaker now in the current meta of CS2, but Shiro's making it work. For one, he will fall prey to a headshot from Jimfat, who's done a much better performance. Great to see him step up here on Ancient. Unfortunately, in round 10, his teammates are falling all around him, as he will do too from that man Donk that we just touched on before. And now Shui, in a very unenviable position of having no control over the bomb and having to walk through a bottleneck. He's hoping that maybe he can snatch away a headshot here or there and put a bit more pressure onto the CTs, but Donk says no for his second kill. It seems like he's getting multi-frags in these last 3 or 4 rounds and really giving his team a huge advantage. But one player I would like to shine a light on, and one that's gone under the radar for a very long time in my mind, is Chopper. This is a guy in the IGL spot right now for Spirit, who I think is unlocking Donk in a different way, playing to his strength. He seems to me to be a fairly humble guy as well. He's not the kind of IGL that has to micromanage everybody, lets people shine. Going back to like Vega Squadron as well, this is a guy that shone a light on a lot of players that have ended up going to other teams and doing really good things. So I think Donk having a player like Chopper alongside him is only a good thing. Meanwhile, Zontix, though, he has to hold the line, and he'll do that just without any problems with that M4A1S. Sprays them down with Donk. It was an eco round, but it's over before it even began.
Man, I hate those ones, Vince, because it always feels like in this day and age, if you're going for those sort of fast A main pops, it's so much better to basically group and then go for a bit of a bounce out. Everyone should be jumping on first contact because it draws the crosshair off. You know, if the first 2 players go out, you just hit that space bar. You're more likely to be traded anyway, but at least it draws the crosshair up in the air. It introduces some of that verticality to it and just makes it easier for everyone else to then look to potentially try and bleed onto the bomb site, get a bit of a trade. But it is what it is. It's an eco round. A quick eco is a good eco. So they get out of the way, go 7-4. Mouz, best case scenario, can they get themselves 1 round at the end of the half here, take it 7-5? Does make your life a little bit easier. The difference of having to battle back from 4 rounds to 3, it can help out. Torsi had money for the AWP as well, so that's going to be bought up. Utilities there for either side as well. So no qualms for Team Spirit. They're going to be able to battle you off of lane, battle you off of cave, and really fight for mid control early. They even invest into just a straight double HE, so a bit of an airstrike on mid, and they do push lane as well, so they've capitalized on this. Thing is, Brawler needs to win this fight. Okay, he does. Instant headshot on the Donk. That's huge. Now the rest of the team can set up for this A play, Vince. It's on Shiro to backhand.
The boost. He does flick. He actually connected that shot. Oh, he didn't. Broland's getting tagged elsewhere. I just saw the health bar plummet. That would have been a hell of a flick if Shiro had actually connected that one. But he does manage to stay alive, and that's a way more important endeavor. He's forced away Mouz single-handedly after tossing the incendiary down. They vacated the A main side and gone back onto mid, where Shiro has already made moves. This guy is a step ahead. He knows exactly what's coming up. And now Mouz, trying desperately to get that 5th round on the half, they're going to be walking into a potential chopper off angle that could really carve a way through for Spirit to have a vast lead. Smoke goes down onto the double doors as well. This is going to be Mouz waiting quite a while before they start to push through, unless they want to flash themselves in and take that fight to Chopper, who's now going on the opposite side. He's gone back up on the ramp. He's stalled so much time here, and he may be able to position on the site to kill a couple of players. That may be good enough for Spirit.
Utility goes in. Cave control removed, but Chopper is the real problem. He's the human hatchet waiting to lop them to pieces, but he's been felled, taken down as Brolin finds the flick, pops his watermelon, and gives them room to breathe. Deep flash towards CT as well. Brolin slowing down a retake. He now swings in, does enough damage, but hasn't been able to convert it into a raw frag, and Magix is working. His fingertips to the bone, strikes back for 2, but Shui closes it. Nice double tap, 7-5 scoreline achieved. They make it slightly easier for themselves. And the crazy bit about this half is, though, the biggest string of rounds that we had seen for Mouz was off the back of the pistol. They take the pistol round, they take the following 2. Since then, it was strings for Spirit with nothing in between for Mouz. They were limping through that half, but it's definitely a lot closer than what we had on the first map. This is their map pick as well. If we're going to a third map, if we're going to make it all the way to the decider on this one, they have to maintain focus now and have a big pistol round to kick off this CT side. We get into round 13, double Julie investment for Zerjan and Torshi, 1 flashbang for Shui. You've got a single player on mid, 1 playing on the boost, that'll be Zerjan waiting for the A main walkout, and then 3 players grouped up over towards the B site. Shui has that flash. If they came up ramp, you could have flashed in. Instead, they need to start wrapping off now. They'll go out through lane and back through mid, but they have to defend the line, Vince.
Good kill from Exertion, knowing that can fall back as well. And he has the second player on Donut. That was Jimfat, and he's dropped. He went down without any kind of confrontation at all. And Exertion needed him to get at least 1 from that endeavor. The fact they got the first kill and yet they're sitting in a post plant at players behind, multiple players behind now, is so brutal, but Shui is keeping the dream alive. P250 spray from Shiro this time is not going to be his best friend, but Donk is still in this fight. He's still in the round with that block and takes 2 heads. Spirit can breathe a sigh of relief, and Mouz can put their head in their hands. They had every opportunity to take that round. They had the perfect positions, but they still let it go.
Donk can do no wrong. It's madness. You're in a position where you're so low in HP. You're in a 1v2, you've got a Glock to your name, and he holds mouse 1 and W and runs at them, tapping like a madman, and absolutely bodies them, bruises them, leaves them thrown to the wayside. It's ridiculous. Instant dinks down on middle though, but they're eating nades already. Double HE thrown from lane to try and batter back Mouz. They've already sent the Wolfpack rotating. Brolin's picked up the Mat 10. He's running in towards the smoke. Shiro's Molotov. Timing's good to block off the push, but it's too late to defend from Zerjan. Oh, hello. They're being ripped. That's actually the wallbang from Brolin. He's been able to spam his way through the cave in, spelunking back into the retake.
What the hell is going on right now? Brolan is smoked off, so it may be all for naught. As far as Mouz are concerned, the fact they even got close in this round, the fact that they were even putting down the likes of Shiro, who's had a couple of dodgy sprays, I think it's safe to say, in these last couple of rounds, has allowed Mouz at least to make them bleed, to keep them close enough to embrace their economy just that little bit more. Brolan can hear the pitter-patter of footsteps, but Chopper, insta-headshot. He's having a blinder of a game, by the way, considering that we've been talking a lot about Donk, understandably. Chopper's been there, neck and neck with Donk, both on 12 kills, 4 and 5 assists respectively, and not that far off on the ADR. Chopper's not the kind of player you're looking at to be a heavy hitter on this team, but he's doing a fantastic job right now.
Exactly. He's supposed to be like the brains of the operation in the background, but at the minute, looking bloody good. His power levels returned, the beard's fully grown back, and Chopper's making a world of difference. Mouz at least have money. Oh, it's a quick A play though. Can they defend this? It's been risky. It hasn't been that clean for them on A holds. Obviously didn't have the best weapons for the job previously. This time Jimfat gets 1, but it's the utility, Vince. They're being barreled out of the server in a casket. As the nade blows away the CT player, Xerxon gives away his angle, and they try and follow up that with a HE as well, deep into Donut. You've probably got to call it quits on this one. You're outnumbered 2-1, and they're just taking so much damage. It's dead in the water. Both of them have to save. That'll be a 10th round. Spirits are 3 rounds away from booking their flights to Romania to compete in the PGL RMRs.
And they've made it look pretty straightforward against one of the best ranked teams on the planet. Yes, they've had a little bit of shimmying in terms of rosters and finding their way still. But this has been such a good performance from Spirit, who themselves, of course, have had some roster changes. Shiro coming in, trying to show the world that missed him that he's still got it. He's had a decent game so far. The concerning sign for me on Mouz, though, Jacky, is when we last casted them against Heroic, where they ended up losing 16-12, but they had a really good first half. Brolan on the CT side was just balling out of control. He was super aggressive. He just couldn't miss a shot. He's not had that same level of impact in this game, and that's a problem for me, because if he's not going to perform, Torji's also having a bit of an off game here. Who's the player to stand up? Who's the player to deal with Donk and the rest of the troops running at them?
No, it's true. It is true. You need some backup. You really need some backup right now. And across the board, yeah, sure, everyone's in a close position in terms of the fragging, but no one is letting this game ablaze. Oh, the timing on it's awkward as well towards middle. Really defends down on the B hold. They're trying their best to smite back towards ramp and at least trading somewhat equally, so we fall into a 3 versus 2. Chopper, he's got the bomb. 52 HP. Waiting on a peak. Shui's actually going for a contact play. He's just walking down behind him. Timing is absolutely everything. And he gets slain by Torji. Oh no, Vince. It's all going wrong. There's chunks of death all over ramp. But at least they recover it somewhat. Zontix in a 1v1. Oh, mate. You would be absolutely fuming.
Mouz. What is happening, man? You expect them to be in such a better spot. Like, coming into this game, we both thought, we said on paper, this is going to be a banger game. It's going to be super, super close between these two rosters. It's hard to call who's going to win. And yet, let's be honest, Jacky, it's just been a one-sided stomp. Mirage was 13-2 if you missed it. Super quick. And this looks like it could be going in a very similar shape. They just can't get anything done. They're getting entries. They're getting situations where they have the opportunity to close the rounds out. It's not like Spirit have played flawlessly themselves, but Mouz just can't grab a hold of it.
Oh, that's such a kick in the teeth as well. Ain't that a kick in the head, Vince? I just don't know how you reset from that as well. You know, not only now you contending with the scoreline, but you contending with that mental frustration. It individually as well. Obviously, a mistake's a mistake, right? Wasn't meant to happen. Probably expecting the wide swing. He's thinking, all right, he's going to peek into him. I'll pre-fire. I've accidentally murdered my teammate. Nope, the round's gone. It's going to be in the back of your mind. You're going to be frustrated about that. Torji instantly has to shake that off. Now we go back in again. Donk eating a bit of damage from the nade towards middle. Lane control being fought for. But the utility damage from Spirit, by the way, it's been big. It's been so impactful. The way that we're seeing, what, maybe 100 in chip damage distributed across the CTs before there's even visual contact, Vince. Spirit have just been winning these rounds from nades alone. They're using them to open with damage or to close frags after getting a tag. It's been sick.
No, very impressive. Reminiscent a little bit to Na'Vi. Yesterday, we saw a masterclass on utility. Over and overpass especially. And now Mouz, they're on the receiving end of that battering. Only a flashbang left between all 5 players. You've got a minute on the clock. A poor buy and only a flash and 1 kit. Oof. And if they lose this, it's basically game, set, and match. Now the nade's flying over. They know at least 1 player's T-spawn of mid. And now Xerxon goes in. The MP9 spray is good. 1 kill and hefty damage. I love that play. They realize we can't really play the long game here. We can't sit back and absorb all this pressure. We have to try and take some fights. Really well done. They get intel as well, and he softened them up enough where some of these weapons now are activated. 30 seconds, and Spirit going in with Brolan on a long flank.
Torji peeks out towards CT, and this time he will be able to deal a deathly blow. Jimfat backs him up as well, and Brolan, he's developing a late flank. Oh, he's been spotted though. Upgrading his weapon comes back to haunt him as he will be struck down by Chopper. There is no chance to plant. Bomb's miles away, back on the site. He can't recover it, can't punch in those digits. but he can at least clutch on to what he's got on his person. The AK will be brought into the next alongside the armor and the single flash. Mouz get 1 round under their belt. Now, here's the top and bottom of it. It has to be flawless. There is no room for mistakes. If they concede even 1 round into this SAF, you're basically giving match point and series point over to Spirit and leaving yourself in a position where if you fluff your lines once, that's it. It's gone. You are out of this game. And in terms of the position they're in as well, that would mean that they fall into the 2-2 pool with 1 last chance to qualify to the RMR. So for Mouz, it's got to be drilled now. Rebuy comes back in. They've got firepower to play with. They've got nades as well. We haven't seen that aggressive lane control, though. It's been a lot more focused on wrapping in through mid to fight for lane. They haven't really been pushing cave, and Shuey doesn't have the nade set for it either. So all the map control in the world is given up to Spirit instantly.
It is. I also feel like they are confident enough to dig their heels in and play those crossfires, but I agree. You're not giving yourself much room for error here if you're on Mouz. If one of these sites gets pillaged and plundered quickly, things get out of control so fast. And Spirit deciding they're going to be a hefty presence in cave with 3 players. Bomb now transitioning through mid in the hands of Zontix. This is going to be an A-sided play. Chopper getting out first, looking for that entry, gets backed up by Magic, so the trade is good, but the incendiary instantly tossed down. They don't have much in terms of ramp control, though, and Shiro's trying to make the most of that one, but the smoke is blotting out his vision, so he thinks twice. The thing is, though, Jacky, there's so much time left on the clock here, but Shuey could have them dead to rights with his spray. He gets 1, but a lot of damage on Donk, and information on top of it.
It's a read. It's a start. Problem is, it might just be a drop in the ocean because there's 2 frags back instantly. Zontix and Shiro rip the heads off of 2 of the big dogs on the server, and Zershan peeks into Donk. He'll shut him down, and Spirit climb the ladder, making it to 12. 6 rounds of buffer to play with here. Mouz in a horrific position with no money to back themselves up either. And like we said, it has to be 6 on the trot. They have no room for even a single mistake. Spirit just need 1 round and they'll close this down. They'll pick up the series. They'll take the 2-0 and they will move on to the RMRs. They will fight for their place in Counter-Strike history to have a chance to go to the first CS2 major.
You have perfectly summed up the situation. Mouz and Spirit will both know this. They'll be acutely aware of the situation themselves. It could put pressure on Mouz, but they're deciding that they're not going to sit back and take it this time. This time they want to get aggressive out. They're going to live or die on this aggression. And so far, it's more the latter than the former. As the HG comes down and finishes off what Donk began, Shuey gets caught in transition. Hasn't been punished. 2 MP9s could maybe catch a couple of T's off guard if they tread a little bit too aggressively. There's the first, but Zontix comes straight back in with the revenge kill. Now the peek from Brolan. Flash is good. The follow-up damage, though, from Brolan as he nails Magix. But the problem is they know exactly where he is. And they're going to just run across to the site and get the plant down. But Brolan is healthy. This is winnable, considering how well he played yesterday, and we've seen glimpses of it today as well. Do not write the Swede off just yet.
He's got to hit his shots, needs to play with the timing as well. And they play together, Vince. The smartest move from the T's. Double up, just peek like a unit. Don't give him the 1v1s, and they will win it. Finding